going to stay live on YouTube so I don't have to keep going over these, going off and on the record.
We had a little outburst in the hallway.
All right, welcome to the 272nd District Court Associate Magistrate docket. The time now is 1:46 and court is now in session. The proceedings are official and are being recorded. Counsel and all parties are instructed to act as though you were in court, and all parties are instructed not to record these proceedings. Only the court coordinator can provide the official record. As with all proceedings, violation of these instructions are subject to contempt proceedings. Accordingly, please exercise proper courtroom decorum at all times. Present in the courtroom is Kevin Capps for the state. Everyone else will be attending by Zoom for the purpose of this hearing. This is cause number 16-5105, CRF 272nd, State of Texas versus Candace Evans. Ms. Evans, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you a United States citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm looking here at your plea paperwork, and you have a motion to proceed that was filed on April 23rd of 2020. Are you the same person that was placed on probation for this offense?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Capps, so I don't have to pull up that paperwork. What offense was she placed on probation for? Ma'am, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 1 and State's Exhibit 2. It's not showing on the... Ma'am, can you see State's Exhibit 1 titled Your Plea of True to State's motion to revoke your community supervision and adjudicate your guilt? Can you see that up on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign this document?
Yes, ma'am.
State's Exhibit 2 is the plea agreement and order. Is this also your signature?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign both of these documents freely, knowingly, and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand by signing State's Exhibit 1 that you are giving up certain United States constitutional rights, Texas constitutional rights, as well as other rights under Texas law.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for me about anything contained in State's Exhibit 1 or 2?
No.
And I've also got a copy of the motion to proceed that's up on the screen here. Do you understand each of those violations that are alleged by the state?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have adequate time to go over each of these violations with Mr. Cagle?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you also have adequate time to go over State's Exhibit 1 and 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for me about anything we've gone over so far?
No, ma'am.
Is there an offer from the state?
Offer exhibits 1, 2.
Any
No
objections,
objection to
Mr.
states
Cagle?
1 and 2.
State's Exhibit 1 and 2 will be admitted. Ms. Evans, would you like a copy of the motion to proceed read back to you that specifically lays out the violations?
No, ma'am. I have them.
And to each allegation, how do you plead, true or not true?
True.
Are you pleading true to each of these violations because they are true?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if I approve this agreement that you are waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on any type of medication today?
I have only for depression. I have take Prozac, but that's it.
All right, anything about your medication that would prevent you from understanding the proceedings here today?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Cagle, do you believe your client is competent?
I do, Judge.
I will find you competent. Based on your plea of true, I'll find sufficient evidence to find the violations are true. I'll adjudicate you guilty of the underlying offense. I'll revoke your probation and sentence you to 2 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. You will be given any credit for time which you've already served so far.
Okay.
All right, is there anything else from either side?
Judge, I believe the court's already aware of this, but just as a reminder, Candace was booked in on this motion to revoke back in November of last year. Most of that time has been spent waiting for transport to safety. It is the intention of the parties that she receive credit for all that time, including when she was waiting for transport.
That's correct, Judge.
All right, you will be given that credit as well as any other that you are entitled to, ma'am. If you have any questions about your credit once you see the judgment, just contact Mr. Cagle. Anything else from either side?
Nothing further from the defense, Judge.
You say that.
All right, ma'am. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Mr.
I think I cut it off.
May I be excused, Judge?
Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Mr. O'Neill, are you ready on Mario Ayers?
Ready when the court is, Your Honor.
Is that just an arraignment?
It's an arraignment. I believe the state has something to put on the record. That's correct.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ayers. Can you hear me okay? Oh, he's muted. There we go. Now can you hear me?
I'm sorry, this is Mr. Williams. I'm just going off the way they printed the list. You want Ayers next?
Let's see. On my printout, I have Ayers next. Who do you have next?
That's right. He's sitting right here. Ayers. They probably just reversed the order when they typed our list.
No problem. This is cause number 195013, CRF 272nd, State of Texas versus Mario Ayers. Mr. Ayers, you're set for arraignment and pretrial this afternoon. Your attorney, as well as the state's attorney, is present in the courtroom here today. You are charged with the offense of assault by intentionally causing bodily injury by reckless. What is he charged with, Mr. Capps? I can't even see that. There we go. All right, assault bodily injury by strangulation, sir, and that does include a family member allegation. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me pull up a copy of your indictment so you can see it up on your screen. Can you see that document?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Have you had an opportunity to go over the indictment with your attorney, Mr. O'Neill?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Would you like a copy read back to you formally that specifically outlines what you're charged with?
No, ma'am.
And to the offense as alleged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
No, the court will enter a plea of not guilty. Is there anything else we need to place on the record this afternoon?
Yes, ma'am, I did ask for a preliminary hearing, and I never got one.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Ayers did ask for a hearing. The state filed the indictment prior to having the hearing set. When the hearing did come up, the court waived the hearing because the indictment had already been filed.
All right, sir, do you understand that the indictment was already filed prior to you requesting that so that it was waived. Is there anything else from the state?
Yes, Judge, I need to put the offers that have been communicated on the record.
Mr. Ayers, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am, nothing but the truth.
All right, go right ahead, Mr. Capps.
Okay, Mr. Ayers, an offer to, for you to plead guilty to the offense of assault, family violence, strangulation with a prior conviction, and for the state to make a recommendation of a 10-year prison sentence. That was a plea offer that has been extended to you, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And have you had an opportunity to discuss that with your defense attorney? I don't want to know what you talked about, but have you had an opportunity to discuss that offer?
Yes, sir. He did tell me about the offer, and I refused.
And as of right now, at this moment, that 10-year plea offer is still available if you wanted to accept it today. But I understand that you are rejecting that plea offer. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the prosecutor that's handling your case has asked me to make some things very clear to you that right now your potential punishment range is enhanced to that of a first degree, and that's a minimum of 5 years up to 99 years or life. But currently, there's no deadly weapon fine. You understand that's the current range of punishment that you're facing if nothing changed right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the prosecutor that's handling your case has instructed me to also inform you that she intends to retrieve a prior punishment from the state of Arkansas and then enhance your range of punishment to that of a habitual offender, which is 25 years to life. And then on top of that, to file a notice of a deadly weapon, which would require you to serve half of your sentence before you would be eligible for parole. And then in addition, to make a request to the sentencing judge that your sentence here be stacked on top of whatever your sentence is in Arkansas, meaning that you would not get credit for both of those cases at the same time if the judge agreed. Do you understand that?
I mean, we didn't talk about this before, but I mean, I understand what you're saying now.
Okay. And I want to. Would you like to have a moment to talk with your defense attorney about all these things that I'm going over, because I want to make sure that you completely understand what the prosecutor's intention is, who's handling your case, if
Right.
you reject this in your offer today.
Mr. John P. O'Neill has been fired from my case. I don't know if y'all didn't get the paperwork yet or not, but I released him on Friday, I believe. So due to insufficient counsel.
Do you understand the things that I've just explained to you that the prosecutor is intending to do to your case based on your rejection of this 10-year offer?
I mean, I understand what you say you're going to try to do.
Right. And she is also communicating that she is not, if you reject this 10-year offer, is not going to offer anything below 25 years after she gets your judgment out of Arkansas. And so the 10-year offer without a deadly weapon finding, which is available right now today, will not be extended ever again. I just want to make sure that you understand that.
That's fine. Let's crank it up. Let's go.
That's all I have to do.
Mr. O'Neill, do you have any questions of your client?
I do not, Your Honor, and nothing further from the defense.
All right, sir, do you have any other questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, if there's nothing else, you can step to the side.
Thank you.
No excuse.
Have a good afternoon, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate you being able to figure that.
No problem at all.
If you want to take.
No worries, thanks, Laura. Appreciate it.
order, you can just-
Yes, I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't messing anything up.
I've already,
I'm getting used to honestly. Yeah,
Is Mr. Brown in custody, it appears?
Yes, that's Casserette. So
Right.
you have
Thanks, sir. Have a good day.
Terrence Williams and Matt Martin's in the courtroom, and then Shane Phelps at 2:30 has Mr. Boyce.
Judge, if it's possible.
Let's see if we can take-
Early because I have a closing at 3 o'clock.
Let's see if we can get the jail to.
Nothing's gonna happen.
All right. Is it possible to get Don Boyce? I know he is out of order, but Mr. Phelps is present, and there's a couple of attorneys before him that are not present. Can you hear me?
We haven't pulled him yet because we've got so many people in the hall. They're doing commissary as well. I can get him. I'm happy to draw.
Let's have him brought up just when you get a moment. Who do you have out there currently?
Either Williams or Brown, your choice.
All right. Looks like Mr. Casaretto's here. Let's do Brown.
Brown?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Brown.
When you talk, use your outside voice. Yes, sir. And talk right to that thing. You may have to stand up to it.
It's 195013 CRF 272nd, 18463 CRM 272nd, and 194561 CRM 272nd, as well as 181693 CRF 272nd. This is set for a status hearing. Mr. Casaretto, what's the status of this hearing?
Your Honor, we have stated for several months that we intend to plea open, and my understanding from a conversation with an associate in the office who's currently furloughed, so I'm not able to have him come in and confirm this, but our understanding was we were going to plea open, stated agreed to, but I'm not sure whether or not that's the status at this point. But,
Who's the prosecutor on his case?
well, it was Ms. Tice, but she's no longer with the Brazos County DA's office, so I couldn't tell you exactly. I do believe that Mr. Moody, the associate that I'm speaking of, was in contact with Ms. Burns, I believe.
All right, I do have Ms. Burns that I've just brought into the meeting. Ms. Burns, we are on State of Texas versus Larry Brown that's set for a status hearing. Are you familiar with his case?
I am.
Mr. Casaretto has indicated that the defendant's intent is to plea open. Is there anything additional that you need to place on the record for the purpose of the status hearing this afternoon?
I don't recall there being an agreement that he plead open. Was that something that was an agreement that was made with Ms. Tice?
No, Ms. Burns, Mr. Moody from my office had advised he had spoken to you, and his impression was that you were agreeing to allow him to plea open. If that's not the case, then I guess we're gonna have to get ready for trial.
Well, sorry, Your Honor. I was not aware of an agreement to plea open. If I could, with the court's permission and indulgence, if I could evaluate that and email Ms. Parker and Mr. Casaretto later this afternoon, I would greatly appreciate that.
Sure.
I have no issue with that, Your Honor.
All right, we'll make note of that in a docket entry. And sir, just keep in contact with your attorney. He'll let you know whether or not you're going to be set for an open plea or whether or not your case needs to be set for a jury trial. Do you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Is there anyone I can speak to Michael?
Mr. Cuthbert, do you want me to turn this around and I'll step out for a moment?
Your Honor, I wouldn't feel comfortable with
Multiple
entire
parties.
courtroom, yeah, with everybody being in here. However, I can contact the jail and see if they can give me a video conference today.
Yeah, sir, he's going to try to set up a video conference just so you and him can be, actually have a conversation privately.
This my, can I just ask him one question? It's not, that has
As
nothing.
long as it does not involve the facts of your case.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Casaretto, you have any problem
Yes,
with that?
Larry, what we wanted to ask, and if I stop you, it's because I don't want to bring that in public.
I would like to get a bond, put in for a bond.
Oh, yes, we will, we'll be discussing that. I'm gonna try to get the jail to give me a same-day video visit with you on that issue.
So keep in contact with your attorney. It sounds like he's working on it, sir.
He's been doing very good on that, Your Honor.
All right, who do you have next?
How about we do Mr. Williams next?
Would you mind saying something?
Okay.
Yes, sir, we're gonna get to you pretty quick.
We're going through.
They're going to pull your guy, Shane. They didn't have him out in the hallway.
I just need to make arrangements.
I understand. We'll try to get you out of here quickly.
This shouldn't go, none of this should.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I did not hear which defendant they were pulling.
It's going to be Terrence Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
But,
This is State of Texas versus Terrence Williams, cause number 193798, CRF 272nd. Mr. Barton, this is your client, is that correct?
it is, Your Honor.
All right, we're set for arraignment. Is that also correct, or is it final pretrial?
This is the final trial evaluation, Your Honor. We have reached a plea agreement with Kristen, and it just needs to be set for whenever is convenient to the court.
Do I have signed papers?
You do not have signed papers because they got to do that at the jail. So I arranged a video conference with him on Saturday and couldn't do that. But you also indicated to me that we couldn't do it today either way. If those papers weren't there by Thursday at 2. So it's not a time served offer. So, but it is the 3 years that he wanted. So theoretically, we could put it after the pandemic is lifted in June, but we can also do it next week if the court so desires, whatever you want.
Yeah, sir, your attorney has indicated that you and the state have reached a plea agreement, so we'll reset that as quickly as possible. You'll get any setting notices by mail. Do you have any questions?
I have the paperwork right here. I really was trying to get with somebody to, I read through it after the guys that brought it to me, they had left, but I was reading the copy part, so I didn't know because on the copy part, it don't got where I have to sign it. And I read the other one and I see it's highlighted to where I got to sign that copy for y'all. I just wanted somebody there with me to kind of go over with it while I'm signing.
Mr. Barton will make sure that he explains the paperwork to your satisfaction and you don't have any questions before you sign it. And then we'll bring you back to court and take care of your case, sir.
Right. Yeah, Mr. Williams, they were supposed to provide that for you for the video call that we had. Please do not sign that until you understand what it means and whatnot, okay?
Yeah, I was waiting on you the other day too for the video.
Yeah, I know, but like we scheduled it for Saturday morning.
But yeah, I was waiting on you for the video.
Yeah, I know.
All right, sir. He'll be in contact shortly.
All right, thank you.
Have a good afternoon.
You ready for Lois?
Yes, thank you.
Is that the 11th? Yeah, well, so I sent you that email and you're like, potential that we need to do it. Since it's not your year, we want to do it on Monday.
Please stop. You hear me?
Yes. Okay,
I hope Kristen's talking to her.
okay,
So yes, that is considered essential.
Okay,
You
all
can
right.
get it to
Then,
probation.
we'll get it to you and we'll do it next Friday.
It's the State of Texas versus Don Boyce, cause number 2390, CRF 272nd and 194908, CRM 272nd. Mr. Phelps is present here in the courtroom. Mr. Boyce, can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're set for a status hearing. Mr. Phelps, what's the status of this case?
Judge, Ms. Burns and I have agreed to reset it for one more setting. I have spoken with Mr. Burns by video visitation at least twice prior to Thursday. He's asked for more time to consider the state's offer, so Ms. Burns has graciously agreed to hold it open for one more setting.
All right, and how far would you like to set that out, Ms. Burns?
I think she said 30 days, Judge, which is fine.
At the courts, Your Honor, I don't think it's going to take long. Well, it'll be pretty clear. Either we're going to reach an agreement or we're not pretty quickly. So at the court's discretion.
All right, sir, Ms. Parker will send you your next setting notice in the mail. Just keep in contact with your attorney. Is there anything else, Mr. Phelps?
No, ma'am.
All right, have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I am concerned whether or not this recording device is working. Mr. Kuhn, will Mr. Smith be appearing in person? Have you had any contact with him? He's here. All right, you ready? If you want to grab him and come on up. Michael Smith. This is cause number 21055, CRF 272nd, State of Texas versus Michael Smith. We're set for arraignment. Sir, you're charged with the offense of robbery. Do you understand that charge as well as the range of punishment?
Yes, ma'am.
You are enhanced to a first-degree felony based on that enhancement paragraph. Do you have any questions about the range?
No, ma'am.
And to the offense of robbery, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
The court will enter a plea of not guilty and not true to the enhancement paragraph. Is there anything else we need to take up this afternoon?
Nope.
Sir, would you like a copy of the indictment read back to you?
Oh, no.
All right. Anything else from either side?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right, sir, if there's nothing else, just keep in contact with your attorney. You'll get your next setting notice in the mail.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ellington, Mr. Gustafson.
All right, thank you.
Do you have Mr. Ellington out in the hallway?
He is in the hall. But before we direct him in, I guess I need to talk to Brian first, right? Yep, for a second.
On that very early? Yeah, hold on.
Are they still all went from the store and they all happened together?
No, that was a bit. That was that other guy. That was that voluntary.
Oh, okay. Those is iPhones.
Money, you pay that shop.
Oh, okay.
You know that?
That too.
You have 3 kids, 6 kids.
Oh, okay.
You can't work.
Lisa, can you do me a favor? Can you call IT? I need them to remote in. I don't believe this recording device is working. think when they installed this.
Who did that? Is that Trevor?
Probably Trevor.
He's gonna ask me for the IP address.
Okay.
Let's give me the IP address first before I'm texting him.
10-200 112-182.
Thank you.
I just need him to remote in and fix the settings.
And tell me again what your concern is, that you can't.
That it's not recording properly.
Y'all weren't able to kayak in that portion of the rapids?
We, so we did a kayak trip, about a 10-mile kayak trip,
Okay.
not too long ago. But we didn't kayak this weekend. We just let them kind of play in that shoal area, and they would just kayak down and then walk back up.
Oh, okay, okay.
But they do have large kayaking trips and overnight kayaking trips.
One time, my grandfather took us, we camped out on the other side of the sandbar.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a Crisco can. And we saw the Crisco can. He coffee in it. And he goes, I asked him, I said, what's that for? He goes, for coffee in the morning. So we built a fire, we got the river water, and we had coffee. What the hell? Just followed it up. Glass.
All right, let's see what we get to.
Pete, can you say something to that microphone? See if it registers.
It's on.
It's just not showing up on my recording device.
He didn't. Trevor said he's in the middle of something right now. He'll be there in 5 minutes. Okay.
I'm just going to record it through Zoom.
Okay.
I hope that works efficiently.
Which one are you on?
Ellington and then Fuentes.
We'll give the court
Back to speak from the judge. She's going to be right here. There you go.
All right, this is State of Texas versus Jalen Ellington, cause number 192481 at CRF 272nd. This is set for final trial evaluation. Mr. Gustitis, what's the status of this case?
Yes, ma'am. This is a case where Kevin is kind of new onto the case, and so I felt like it was appropriate to share with him some of the facts that I was able to ascertain based on my discovery review that I think will affect his decision on how to resolve it. And so Kevin thought, another reset just to give him some more time. I think I pointed out to him exactly what he needs to go look at. So I don't think he's going to be digging too long.
Mr. Capps, anything else you need to add for the purpose of the record?
I appreciate Mr. Gustitis' consideration, and I agree with him. Because I'm newly on this case, I would like to have an opportunity to fully digest and evaluate all the aspects of the case before we get to a point of deciding whether or not it needs to go on the trial docket. So I would ask the court to please consider giving me one.
We will reset it for another final trial evaluation based on the circumstances. All right, so keep in contact with Mr. Gustitis. He'll relay to you any important information that you need to consider. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right, have a good afternoon. You can
Thank
be
you.
excused, sir. We're ready for Tanya Cifuentes.
I don't have a Cifuentes on the list.
She is out of custody. Next on your list, it looks like it will be Terrence Dwayne Williams. Oh, we've already done him. Mr. Carter, Andrew Carter.
Carter.
All right. Ms. Fuentes, I'm going to turn this camera around. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can put your hand down. This is cause number 183382, CRM 272nd and 192521, CRF 272nd, State of Texas versus Tanya Cifuentes. Ms. Silva, can you hear me okay? Let me unmute you. Looks like you're muted. All right, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
Give me a moment. I'm having IT is in my computer and has control of my mouse. so I can't pull up her paperwork.
Your hands are purple. You need to make sure that you wash them with soap and water and dry them with a towel before you touch anything in this house.
Mr. Fuentes, they're working on it. They're just making sure the recording device is working properly. Should just take a moment.
Trevor said it's hard to tell, but there was signal coming across the software.
I can see now a signal, but it's recording and then it's not like counting upward like it's actually recording. All right, ma'am, and cause number 192521, CRF 272nd, you're charged with the offense of manufacturing and delivery of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 to 200 grams. Do you understand that charge as well as the range of punishment? The state is waiving the drug-free zone. It is going to be a first-degree felony, so that range of punishment is between 5 up to 99 years or life, as well as potentially up to a $10,000 fine. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 1. Can you see it up on the screen? State's Exhibit 1 is your plea of guilty, waiver of stipulation, and judicial confession. Did you sign this document?
Yes,
And State's Exhibit 2 is the plea agreement and order. Is that your signature?
Yes.
Did you sign both of these documents freely, knowingly, and voluntarily? Do you understand by signing State's Exhibit 1 that you are giving up certain United States constitutional rights, Texas constitutional rights, as well as other rights under Texas law? Did you have adequate time to go over each of these documents with Ms. Silva?
yes.
And did she review and explain each of these documents to your satisfaction?
Yes,
Do you have any questions for me about anything contained in State's Exhibit 1 or 2? Is there an offer from the state?
State offers, Your Honor.
State's Exhibit 1, 2, and 3 will be. Ma'am, do you understand that if I approve this agreement that you are waiving your right to appeal? Are you on any type of medication today? Have you ever sought any mental health treatment? Ms. Silva, do you believe your client is competent?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I will find you competent. Ma'am, would you like a copy of the indictment read back to you that specifically lays out what you're charged with? And how do you plead to the offense of manufacturing and delivery of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 to 200 grams? Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes.
Based on your plea of guilty, I will find you guilty. I'll sentence you to 5 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. You'll be given any credit for time which you've already served so far. That will include a $180 lab fee in both of your cases. I've also got a request to consider unadjudicated offenses here that's up on the screen now. Have you had an opportunity to also go over this document with Ms. Silva?
The 1245?
Yes, ma'am. And is that your signature?
Yes,
You have a driving while license invalid in the cause number that's listed, as well as a possession of a controlled substance, felony group 1 less than 1 gram, as listed in the request. Do you understand each of those charges and the ranges of punishment? And to each charge, how do you plead? Based on your plea of guilty in each case, I'll bar any further prosecution in each of those cases. So you won't have a conviction, but do know if you get in trouble in the future that it could be used against you. Do you have any questions about that? Do you have any questions about anything we've gone over here today so far? Are you a United States citizen? Ms. Silva, do you have any additional questions of your client?
I have no further questions, Judge.
Is there anything else from the state?
No, no, ma'am.
All right, ma'am, if there's nothing else, you'll be remanded in the custody of the sheriff. Good luck to you.
May I be excused, Judge?
Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
He was June 30. Are you handling that one for Steve Zimmerman? Carter. Trevor said if it's not going up in number, it's probably not recording this because you're doing something.
No, because it wasn't mine. I told the lawyer that I married so she didn't want to fight for me. Now I'm doing time for somebody else's stuff. I'm not guilty of it.
Ms. Parker. Take her into custody and let's set this case for status.
Next Monday. All right. Gotta go into custody.
And let Ms. Silva know she needs to talk with her client as well as see if the status hearing.
That's fine, you just don't put the handcuffs on.
Vaguely. Yes, ma'am. Did he indicate when he may have an opportunity to fix the recording? Sorry. Yes, ma'am. doesn't matter whether it's myself or Judge Brian, either one. However you want to do it's fine. Mr. Carter, pleading on all cases.
Yes, one case is being 1240.
Y'all know those times that lawyers stay in the hallway? All right.
No, but we're just behind, we're doing our inmate 215 case. One case is being 1245, the other two misdemeanor cases are 180 days, and the felony is for 180 days.
Okay. Mr. Medina, can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. Mr. Carter, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. In cause number 21556, CRF 272nd, you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 less than 1 gram. Do you understand that charge as well as the range of punishment? It's a state jail felony plus you. State jail felony, that range of punishment is 180 days up to 2 years in a state jail facility. It does look that pursuant to the plea paperwork that the state is allowing you to plead pursuant to 1244A of the Texas Penal Code. Do you have any questions about that range of punishment, sir? I'm also looking at the waiver of indictment that you've signed. I'm going to pull up that document on your screen. Let me know if you cannot see it. Can you see that okay? All right. Is this your signature here on the waiver of indictment?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you do have the right to have a grand jury determine whether or not there's sufficient evidence to proceed with this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what you want me to do, is allow you to waive indictment and proceed with this plea agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 1 and State's Exhibit 2 for both of your cases. But before I do so, we're also going to go over the charge and the range of punishment in cause number 194413 CRM 272nd count 1, where you're charged with the offense of evading arrest and detention. Do you also understand that charge as well as the range of punishment?
Yes, ma'am.
That range of punishment is up to 365 days in the Brazos County Jail, as well as potentially up to a $4,000 fine. State's Exhibit 1 in both of your cases is your plea of guilty, waiver of stipulation, and judicial confession. Did you sign this document in each cause number?
Yes, ma'am.
State's Exhibit 2 for each case is the plea agreement and order. Is that your signature?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you also sign this document in each of your cases? Do you understand by signing State's Exhibit 1 for both of these cases that you are giving up certain United States constitutional rights, Texas constitutional rights, as well as other rights under Texas law?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have adequate time to go over both of these documents with Mr. Medina? And you're going to have to speak up for me just a little bit because I can't hear you on the recording.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for me about anything contained in State's Exhibit 1 or 2?
No, ma'am.
Is there an offer from the state?
State offers, Your Honor.
No
Any
objection.
objection? States Exhibit 1, 2, and 3 will be admitted. Mr. Medina, he has 3 cases that he's going to plea on. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then one that will be 1245.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Just making sure I have it all up on the screen here. All right, sir, would you like a copy of the indictment or the informations read back to you that specifically lay out what you're charged with?
No, I have.
Do you understand that if I approve the agreement in each of these cases that you are waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on any type of medication today?
No, ma'am.
Have you ever sought any mental health treatment?
No.
Have you ever sought any mental health treatment?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Medina, do you believe your client is competent?
Yes, ma'am.
I will find you competent. In cause number 21556, CRF 272nd, how do you plead to the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 less than 1 gram?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on your plea of guilty, I will find you guilty. Pursuant to 1244A, I'll sentence you to 180 days in the Brazos County Jail. You'll be given any credit for time which you've already served so far. That will include a $180 DPS lab fee. And it will run concurrent with your other case as well. And cause number 184624, CRM 272nd, you're charged with the offense of assault bodily injury. Do you also understand that charge as well as the range of punishment?
Yes, ma'am.
And that is a class A misdemeanor, so that range is also up to a year in the Brazos County Jail, as well as potentially up to a $4,000 fine. Did you have an opportunity to also go over States Exhibit 1 and 2 in this cause number with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up by signing this document?
No, ma'am.
And how do you plead to the offense of assault bodily injury?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on your plea of guilty, I will find you guilty. I'll sentence you to 180 days in the Brazos County Jail. You will also be given any credit for time which you've already served so far. In cause number 194413, CRM 272nd, count 1, how do you plead to the offense of evading arrest and detention?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on your plea of guilty, I will find you guilty. I'll sentence you to 180 days in the Brazos County Jail. You'll be given any credit for time which you've already served, and that will run concurrent. I'm also going to pull up the request to consider unadjudicated offenses. Did you have an opportunity to go over the request to consider unadjudicated offenses with Mr. Medina?
Yes, ma'am.
And is this your signature here?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a resisting arrest, search, or transport in the cause number that's listed in the request, as well as a failure to identify that's also listed here. To each of these charges, do you understand the charge as well as the range of punishment?
Yes, ma'am.
And how do you plead to each?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty to both because you are guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on your admission of guilt in both cases, I'll bar any further prosecution, so you won't have convictions, but do know if you get in trouble in the future that it could be used against you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else from either side?
Briefly, Your Honor,
Go right ahead.
Mr. Carter.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we had the opportunity to go over these documents twice. Is that correct? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you understood everything you were signing, and you understood that we had a conversation. I told you it's up to the sheriff as to how much credit you get, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Sir, did you sign all of these documents freely, knowingly, and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for me about anything we've gone over today?
No, ma'am.
If there's nothing else, good luck to you, sir.
Who would you like next?
Caleb Owens, please.
All righty. Mr. Owens.
How are you? No, no. Huh? No. It was, oh, my past was John Brown really well, and he ended up agreeing with me and doing what I wanted on the case. So that's how. I think that seemed to be getting me where I need to be. Thank you. No, it's fine. Okay, thanks.
This is State of Texas versus Caleb Owens, cause number 194321, CRM 272nd, 201545, CRM 272nd, and 195318, CRF 272nd. This is set for a status hearing. Mr. Capps is present for the state. Ms. Banks is also present here in the courtroom, as well as other state attorneys here on the Zoom call. What's the status of this case, Ms. Banks?
Judge, Ms. Burns and I have been communicating about the case and going back and forth. She made an offer, I made a counter offer, she's made another offer. I have not yet been able to relay that to my client, but I anticipate, I'm supposed to have a jail visit with him tomorrow to do that, and I'll talk to you about it then. I think we could. I know he's anxious to get it resolved, but I'm hopeful we might be able to get there if I can talk to him about what the new offer is when I visit with him tomorrow.
How far do we need that reset out?
Ms. Parker's pleasure. Yeah. The only thing we're asking right now, if you get signed plea papers, she has a docket every Monday afternoon, but I need them by 2 o'clock in order to get everything done. It's half day on Friday to get it. So we can do any Monday. I may push it out further, and then if y'all reach an agreement, you just let me know with the signed plea papers, and we'll get it in. I'll try to work it in as fast as I can. Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Mr. Owens, your attorney has received an offer from the state. She's going to come and visit with you and relay that offer, and then we'll determine what we need to do, whether or not you reach an agreement or we need to set this case for trial. So just keep in contact with Ms. Banks. She'll be there to see you shortly. Do you have any questions for me?
Oh, man.
All right. Have a good afternoon, sir.
I'm about to have one too. I told her there was one.
It's I need my hairdresser to come back.
She is essential.
I tried to do something with my own hair and it has changed a little bit different color, which is why it is back in a ponytail, but thank you.
I told someone my natural color on the box would be called dead mouse brown, which is what we're moving towards. It's just this real strong dead mouse brown. But it looks good. Thank you.
Anyone else appearing in person?
Yes, ma'am. The next one, I believe, is a fall. So Keisha Levins is by Zoom. Michael Miller. As is Crystal Robertson. But
Those are all Zoom.
The rest of them are all by Zoom.
Thank you.
Not quite as entertaining as this morning.
No, it's moving quickly. I can't do the plea for Michael Miller because he was one.
Okay, that's fine. I have down that Kristen's supposed to do it. Is she still on?
She is.
Zoom?
Mm-hmm. So the last 3 are please. Is that correct, Ms. Parker?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
We do have one Jake Randall. Just realized that, but he's down. He's not here. Trevor says it would probably be the first thing tomorrow before he can.
That's okay, as long as he can get it fixed prior to Wednesday or Thursday, that would be great. Mr. Price, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to bring in your client. Can we get Kalisha Liggins? Thank you.
Liggins.
Hello, Ms. Wiggins.
Talk to this,
Okay,
and you've got a good loud voice, so
yes,
keep using it.
all right. How y'all doing?
Good.
Okay, how are you, Miss Liggins?
Doing pretty good. Hey, Mr. Price.
How are you, Ms. Wiggins?
Pretty good.
All right, ma'am, can you raise your right hand for me?
Uh-huh.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you a United States citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
You currently have a motion to proceed that was filed June 5th of 2019. Are you the same person that was placed on probation for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand each of the allegations that are listed in the motion to proceed? Can you see the motion up on your screen, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand each of the violations that the state has alleged?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like me to read this document back to you formally?
No, ma'am. I know what it says.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 1 and State's Exhibit 2 in cause number 184329, CRF 272nd. State's Exhibit 1 is your plea of true to the state's motion to revoke your community supervision or adjudicate your guilt. Did you sign this document?
Yes, ma'am.
And State's Exhibit 2 is the plea agreement and order. Is this also your signature?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign both of these documents freely, knowingly, and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand by signing State's Exhibit 1 that you are giving up certain United States constitutional rights, Texas constitutional rights, as well as other rights under Texas law?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have adequate time to go over both of these documents with Mr. Price?
Yes, ma'am.
And did he review and explain each document to your satisfaction?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for me about anything contained in State's Exhibit 1 or 2?
I want to know, do I get time two for one time?
You'll be given any back time which you're entitled to that you've spent in custody on this charge. As far as what TDC does, I don't have any control over how many days you're going to get, whether it's day for day or whether it's 2 for 1 or 3 for 1. That's going to be solely up to TDC. So I don't have any control over it or know what they're going to do when you get there.
You said I don't have any time, back time?
You will be given credit for time which you've already served on this case in the past.
Oh, okay. But so that time there is not 2 for 1.
That's correct.
Okay. That's all I want to know. Will I be going to the program to TDC?
I also don't have that information because I don't know how much time that you have credit for.
Okay.
And so they may come to the Brazos County Jail and they may do an intake there, or you may be transported and they'll do the intake. I apologize. I don't have that information. I just don't have any control or know what time you even have credit for.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if I approve this agreement that you are waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on any type of medication today?
I take high blood pressure medicine.
Anything about your medication that would prevent you from understanding the proceedings?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Price, do you believe your client is competent?
Oh, yes, ma'am, I do.
I will find you competent. And how do you proceed? How do you plead to the allegations in the motion to proceed that was filed June 5th of 2019? True or not true?
The true motions?
Yes. Are you pleading true because the violations are true?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on your plea of true, I will find them true. I'll find sufficient evidence that you did violate your probation. I'll adjudicate you guilty of the underlying offense and sentence you to 2 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. You will be given that credit for time which you've already served so far.
Thank you so much.
If you have any questions and you believe your credit is incorrect, just contact Mr. Price.
I sure will.
All right, is there anything else from either side?
That's it. I'm ready to go.
I don't know
defense.
if I ask, but is there an objection to
Formally,
to?
Listen, I have a question. There's a program that I would like to go to upon release. Is there going to be any problem with me going there?
There shouldn't be, but that's going to also be, you're going to need to talk with your parole officer. They're going to have your address and a lot of details that you're going to have to specifically give them. So I don't have any control over what your parole officer will require and won't require you to do, but just, it shouldn't be a problem typically.
Okay.
Any objection, Mr. Price, to States Exhibit 1 or 2?
No objection, ma'am.
Those documents will be admitted. Any other questions, ma'am?
Y'all have a good day.
Good luck to you.
Good luck. Bye-bye.
Mr. Price.
Bye-bye.
Who would you like next?
All right. Is that all you have, Mr. Price?
It is, Judge.
All right. Have a good afternoon.
You too, or a better one.
All right. Mr. Price.
Always nice to have satisfied
That is
She gave herself some time to take her.
Michael Miller, please.
All right, Kevin, do you have Jay Cranberry's cell number? If you do, would you send him a text and tell him we're on the second floor, not the fourth floor? And his contact stuff out. I don't think he phone and understand he's up on the fourth floor.
Can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you now. Michael Miller.
Michael Miller, all right. Miller. Correct your voice to this. And speak in a loud, clear voice.
Got it.
Thank you.
Is there plea papers in each count on the felony, Ms. Parker? I see.
You see the counts 1 and 2. I've tried to label them. I think it helps to label them.
Yeah, I agree.
And watching how you do it up there has helped me. I don't have to put the cause note on Muller. I put them in. I'm still playing with how to tie
Well, Mr. Miller, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you a United States citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
This is State of Texas versus Michael James Miller. Cause number 192307, CRM 272nd, 193371, CRF 272nd, and 21499, CRF 272nd. Sir, in cause number 21499, CRF 272nd, count 1, you're charged with the offense of manufacturing and delivery of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 to 200 grams. Do you understand that charge as well as the range of punishment?
Yes, ma'am.
That is a first degree felony in count 1, so that range is between 5 up to 99 years or life, as well as potentially up to a $10,000 fine. In count 2 of this same cause number, you have a third degree felony for possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2, 1 to 4 grams. Do you also understand that charge and range of punishment?
Yes, ma'am.
That range of punishment is between 2 up to 10 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, as well as potentially up to a $10,000 fine. And cause number 193371, CRF 272nd. You're charged with the second-degree felony offense of manufacturing and delivery of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 1 to 4 grams. Do you also understand that charge and range of punishment?
Yes, ma'am.
That range of punishment is between 2 up to 10 years, 2 up to 20 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, as well as potentially up to that $10,000 fine. I'm going to show you for each case what's been marked as State's Exhibit 1 and State's Exhibit 2. State's Exhibit 1 for each cause number is your plea of guilty, waiver of stipulation, and judicial confession. Did you sign this document in each case?
Yes, ma'am.
And State's Exhibit 2, which is the plea agreement and order. Is this your signature here?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you also sign this document in each cause number?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign each document freely, knowingly, and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand by signing State's Exhibit 1 in each of these cases that you are giving up certain United States constitutional rights, Texas constitutional rights, as well as other rights under Texas law?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for me about anything contained in State's Exhibit 1 or 2?
No.
Is there an offer from the state?
State offers, Your Honor.
Objection.
State's Exhibit 1 and 2 will be admitted. Is there a State's Exhibit 3 discovery receipt?
There should be, Your Honor.
That will be admitted as well. Sir, would you like a copy of the indictment or information in each of these cases read back to you formally? That specifically lays out what you're charged with?
Judge, we'll waive that.
Do you understand that if I approve the agreement in each of these cases that you are waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on any type of medication today?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything about your medication that would prevent you from understanding the proceedings?
No.
Have you ever sought any mental health treatment?
Yes.
Anything about your mental health that would prevent you from understanding the proceedings today?
Not that I know
Mr. Davis, do you believe your client is competent?
I do believe, Judge.
Mr. Miller, have you been able to communicate effectively with Mr. Davis?
of. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about anything we've gone over here so far?
Not anything we've gone over here. I was wondering though, do you guys know how much back time I have or no?
I don't have that information in front of me. That's something that the jail calculates. So once that's calculated, if you believe it's incorrect, just contact Mr. Davis.
Okay.
All right, and cause number 21499, CRF 272nd, count 1. How do you plead to the offense of manufacturing and delivery of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 to 200 grams?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on your plea of guilty, I will find you guilty. I'll sentence you to 4 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. You'll be given any credit for time which you've already served so far.
No.
Ms. Burns, is he pleading to a lesser included offense?
We're waiving one of the enhancement paragraphs, I believe is the agreement, Your Honor.
So with that waiver, it will be a second-degree felony rather than a first.
Yes, ma'am.
Any objection to me changing that on the plea paperwork?
No objection.
I feel a lot better that it's not just my children. Now, thank you, Kyle.
Absolutely.
All right, and count 2 of the same cause number. How do you plead to the offense of possession of a controlled substance, felony group 2, 1 to 4 grams.
Guilty.
And are you also pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on your plea of guilty, I will find you guilty. I'll sentence you to 4 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, and that will run concurrent with count 1. And cause number 193371, CRF 272nd. How do you plead to the offense of manufacturing and delivery of a controlled substance? Felony group 1, 1 to 4 grams.
Guilty.
Based on your plea of guilty, I will find you guilty. I'll sentence you to 4 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. That will run concurrent, and you'll also be given any credit for time which you've already served so far. Do you have any questions about anything we've gone over today?
No, ma'am.
Is there anything else from either side?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Judge, I asked he'd be allowed to lay out any court costs associated with this case.
That will be granted. Anything else from either side?
No, ma'am.
No.
All right, sir, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Have a good day.
Have a good afternoon.
Dismissal on this one.
I have signed it. I will also sign the dismissal on cause number 192307, CRM 272nd.
Who would you like next, Judge?
I believe the last one is going to be Mr. Arvizu, Carlos Arvizu.
We also have Robertson on the list.
Oh, okay.
They're both here, so I'll get Mr. Arvizu.
Thank you.
I don't know what's going on. I think it's the corona. I'm just not very good at reading.
Well, any consolation, you're not the only one.
I mean, it was right there. Sorry. Anybody else?
Oh, they're been all day.
Yeah.
That's why I said, don't feel bad. You're not.
I mean, it's so easy. It's like a good old fashioned. That's a good way to be able to read that.
It's really good.
This is State of Texas versus Carlos Arvizu. Cause number 184999, CRF 272nd, and 17271, CRM 272nd. Mr. Granberry as well as Mr. Capps are present in the courtroom, and Ms. Burns is also present online. This is set for arraignment and pretrial as well as a status hearing. Mr. Granberry, what's the status of this case?
I need to talk to Ms. Burns. I attempted to call her earlier today. I waited till pretty late, so it appears she's been busy. So that's perfectly understandable. I think we'll be able to work it out. If we could set it for a setting maybe next Monday, I think we'll have something worked out definitively by then.
And he's also set for arraignment in 184999, CRF 272nd. Would you like to do that this afternoon or waive arraignment?
They file a waiver late today or sometime today.
All right, so we don't need to do that this afternoon. All right, sir, do you have any questions of your attorney who's in the courtroom?
No, I don't.
All right, anything else from either side?
I will be communicating with him via video conference probably in the next 2 days.
All right, sir, Mr. Granberry should be in to see you here in the next couple of days. Just keep in contact with your attorney and we'll get you set back on the docket as quickly as possible.
All right, thank you.
Have a good afternoon.
Just to let you know that the deadline to get me plea papers, if you're going to plead me on Monday, is still the same Thursday at 2 o'clock. And if we don't, she will do a plea docket on the 18th. That's another Monday.
Okay. No, yeah, I mean, y'all spell it out.
And if you can't get them to me by 2, if you'll just email me and say, we're working on it, I have a conference with you today, can I get them to you Friday? And I'll go, yeah. I just need something from people.
I'm trying to get out of town early on Friday. Question, talk straight to that. O'Connor's job, I like it.
Who's that?
O'Connor's.
Oh, that's go to time.
See, I didn't even read until I did. Anyway, good to see y'all again anyway.
Have a good afternoon.
See you later, Jay.
Thanks, Jay. Ms. Roberson's pleading on 2 felonies. 1 felony's been dismissed and a misdemeanor's been dismissed.
Thank you.
Your Honor, do we believe that Ms. Roberson is the last business for the day?
That is correct. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. I haven't had an opportunity to do it. Ms. Robertson, can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just going to bring your attorney into the meeting.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I guess I better open my camera up. There we go. Okay.
All right, I do have Ms. Robertson here. Ms. Robertson, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can put your hand down. Are you a United States citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm looking at cause number 184525, CRF 272nd, where you're charged with the offense of theft less than $2,500 with 2 or more prior convictions. Do you understand that charge as well as the range of punishment?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like me to formally go over the range of punishment with you?
Judge, we'll waive that. Our client has been explained the range of the punishment for these offenses.
I'm also looking at cause number 181966, CRF 272nd, where you're charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated with a child under 15. Do you understand that charge as well as the range of punishment?
Yes, ma'am.
For each case, would you like a copy of the indictment read back to you formally that specifically lays out what you're charged with?
Yes, that's fine. Yes.
Well, Judge, we'll actually waive the reading of the charging instruments. Is that what you're asking, Ms. Robertson?
That's correct. If she wants a copy of the indictment read back to her.
May I just address her directly without going into a room? Crystal, we've gone over the charges against you. What she's asking, is it necessary to read the indictment to you?
Oh, no, ma'am. No, I understand everything.
Okay.
If you have any questions as I go through anything, then please stop me. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 1 and State's Exhibit 2 for both of your cases. That's going to be up on your screen there. State's Exhibit 1 for both cases is titled The Plea of Guilty, Waiver of Stipulation, and Judicial Confession. Did you sign a State's Exhibit 1 for both of your cases?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And State's Exhibit 2 is the plea agreement and order. Is this your signature?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you also sign this document for both cause numbers?
Yes, I did.
Did you sign each of these documents freely, knowingly, and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand by signing State's Exhibit 1 for both of your cases that you are giving up certain United States constitutional rights, Texas constitutional rights, as well as other rights under Texas law?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Do you have any questions for me about anything contained in State's Exhibit 1 or 2?
No, ma'am.
Did you have adequate time to go over all of these documents with Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Is there an offer from the state?
The state would offer Exhibits 1, 2, and 3 in each of these cause numbers, Your Honor.
No objection, Your Honor. And I will represent to the court that my associate attorney, Ms. Shaw, who's in the background, and I reviewed these and talked about these with Ms. Robertson this morning, but also Ms. Shaw spent time in person on Friday reviewing these with her.
The record will reflect, and State's Exhibit 1, 2, and 3 will be admitted. Ma'am, do you understand that if I approve each of these agreements that you are waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on any type of medication today?
No, ma'am.
Have you ever sought any mental health treatment?
Can you say that again? I didn't hear you.
Have you ever sought any mental health treatment?
Judge, she was actually sent to ASH to restore competency. If it might be fruitful if I could ask her a few questions about this.
Go right ahead.
Crystal, you understand you're charged with this felony offense of driving while intoxicated with a child 14 years of age under in the vehicle with you. Do you understand that charge?
Yes, sir.
And you also understand the theft charge?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, after the theft charge, were you involved in a very, very serious automobile accident?
Yes, sir.
And we're all very sorry for that, but did you suffer a significant head injury?
Yes, I did.
And how did that affect you?
It caused me to not remember things that was very important. You know, I could learn something one minute and then the next minute I forget. You know, it interfered with my memory.
Did it affect your vision?
Yes, yes.
How did it affect your vision?
This is the right eye is going this way.
Okay, so it actually,
Look over here and look straight ahead at the same time.
okay. And did it affect your ability to do movements that require coordination?
Yes.
And are you no longer able to drive because of this accident?
No, I cannot.
Okay. And now there was a period of time when I was discussing your case with you, and Ms. Martin had made some suggestions about how we could resolve it. And I was concerned because I felt like you didn't fully understand me.
Correct.
Okay. And so that's why I filed a motion to evaluate you for competency, because competency has to do with how well you understand the proceedings, the nature of the charges against you, and whether or not you can assist me in representing you. Okay.
Okay.
And ultimately, a doctor said that at the time you weren't competent, but then they sent you to the Austin State Hospital to help you try to learn things again and understand again and become competent again. Is that why you went to Austin State Hospital?
Yes, and it helped me a whole lot. I learned different strategies on how to focus and gain my memory back and remember things, and it helps a whole lot.
Okay.
I learned a lot of things that I didn't know.
Okay. Well, part of the thing is the reason the judge asked you the question she just did was she has to make sure that you're competent right now and you understand everything. Do you understand everything?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
And you believe that this plea agreement is in your best interest?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I pass the witness.
I have no questions.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. You do believe your client is competent based on your communications with her?
Yes, I do now, Your Honor. In fact, now this has been the most lucid conversations that we've had with her. So she's very much aware of what's going on.
And I will find you competent.
Thank you.
Okay, and cause number 181966, CRF 272nd. How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated with a child under 15?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, I am.
Based on your plea of guilty, I will find you guilty pursuant to 1244A. I'll sentence you to 60 days in the Brazos County Jail. You'll be given any credit for time which you've already served so far.
And Judge, go ahead, Ms. Martin.
I just, I wanted to put on the record, Judge, we are, aside from just the credit that Ms. Roberson has from the Brazos County Jail, we're also agreeing to give her any credit for the time that she was in Ash, when she was being restored to competency. So I just wanted to put that on the record.
And that's our understanding of the agreement, Your Honor.
All right, the record will so reflect. I'm also looking at cause number 184525, CRF 272nd. How do you plead to the theft less than $2,500 with 2 or more previous convictions?
I'm guilty. I plead guilty.
And based on your plea of guilty, I will find you guilty pursuant to 1244A. I'll also sentence you to 60 days in the Brazos County Jail, and you'll be given any credit for time which you've served, as well as that will run concurrent.
Thank you. I
have signed the dismissals in your misdemeanor cases 17637 CRM 272nd and 183896 CRF 272nd. Is there anything else we need to take up this afternoon?
Nothing from the state.
No believe so from the defense judge. I would only say that the sheriff's office has confirmed to us that they'll honor any jail time credit towards time in Ash as long as it's reflected on the jail order.
All right, Ms. Parker is making sure that is reflected on the order. All right, ma'am, do you have any questions for me?
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else left
That's
on
all I have on
the
my
Ms. Parker?
Not on this case, Your Honor.
All right, I believe that's it. Thank y'all very much.
Thanks.